Village, the program that features brief yet interesting interviews with residents here at Alegria Village. Today, you're going to meet Nadia Budenmerritt, and I'd like to tell you this lovely young lady lives in KC 113.
Yeah.
Don't have our second guest with us now, but be prepared to meet her because she is one of the many multi-talented people who live in this community. Okay, now, welcome, Nadia. Welcome to Meet the Village. It's a pleasure to have us with you.
Thank you.
Shall we get started?
I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
glad to hear that.
You can get started.
Okay, well, let's get that obnoxious question I have to ask everyone out of the way to start
Okay.
with. How long has Alegria Village been your new home?
Oh, it's a little over a month, about a week over a month.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
Now, are you a native Michigander, or did you come from some really interesting place in this vast country?
No, I'm a native Michigander, Michigan, native everything here, Dearborn, Michigan.
You said the magic word Dearborn. How much time have you spent in Dearborn?
Well, actually, I was born in Dearborn.
Okay.
I grew up in Dearborn, and my house is in Dearborn. My son was born in Dearborn. So,
Okay,
and I taught in Dearborn.
Oh, okay. Boy, we're getting all the information in one fall sweep. Okay, now, when you were young, where did you live in Dearborn?
I lived in the south end of Dearborn.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about that community.
Okay, the south end of Dearborn is near the Rouge plant. And most of the people who lived there came from Europe, and they had heard about the Rouge plant needed people to work there. So many men from Europe came to Dearborn
Okay.
and worked at the Rouge plant.
And so that neighborhood must have been full of all sorts of different
Oh,
nationalities.
God, yes. Oh, yes. Italian, Polish, Armenian, Romanian, Macedonian,
And I bet Czechs.
Czechs.
I bet you had some Czechs
Serbs,
in there.
Czechs,
Okay.
yes, everything.
Okay. Now, I believe this all starts with a story, how you got there. Back, way back, and I bet your father had something to do with it. Tell us that story about your father, where he started from, and how he got over here.
Oh, my father came from Macedonia. It's near Greece and
Greater Greece,
Bulgaria,
yeah.
yeah. And he walked across Europe to the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, he hardly had any money. How he paid to get onto a boat or a ship.
How did he pay to eat
How did
as he was
pay to
walking
eat?
across
I don't
it?
know. Yeah, because he was poor. He had to get out of his country because it was ruled by the Greeks, and they didn't like the Macedonians. So anyway, he came here. He came here by himself, and he came to the south end of Dearborn because he had heard he was on the ship with other European men who
Okay.
came to work at the Rouge plant.
Okay. Well, okay, he's over there working and getting himself established. Did he meet anyone interesting?
Well, yeah, the woman that he married. Yeah.
Well, that's what we're
The
digging
woman
for.
that he married.
And what is Mom's name?
Oh, her name is Vanya or Ivanka.
Okay.
Either way, Ivanka, Vanya.
Okay, so that fills in a lot of
Yeah,
space there,
yeah.
but that's just amazing to think that people really walked across a continent to find a better life.
Yes.
I think that's
well,
amazing.
he wasn't the only one.
Oh, I know he
Yeah,
wasn't. I know
no.
he wasn't. My relatives came over in the 1890s, but their story is nowhere near as exciting.
Oh, wow.
I don't think they walked. They sold the farm and then paid for
And then
things.
paid,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Okay, you're a local girl then, and then there's another question I always have to ask. What high school did you go to?
I went to Fortson High School.
Okay, and what kind of courses did you focus on when you were at Fortson?
Well, I took secretarial courses, shorthand, typing, all that stuff.
Okay.
But then I thought, well, my father always wanted me to go to college, and I said,
Okay.
okay, I'll take some classes for people who are going to go to college.
Well, where'd you go?
Oh,
what
I
college?
went to Henry Ford Community College.
And what did you focus on? What was your course of studies while there?
Well, mainly history, American history, and social studies, things
Okay.
like that.
But were you in any, like an educational program, science programs?
Yeah, I took science, education, yeah.
Okay, because that means that you had the possibility of being a teacher.
Teacher, well, that's what my father wanted me to be.
Okay, well, tell us about your teaching career.
Oh, my teaching career. Well, I got a teaching job at Dearborn Public Schools when I was in my early 20s. And I taught every grade from first grade to eighth grade. And then at night, I taught English as a second language to adult immigrants.
Oh, now did you need to take some extra classes or get some extra skills in order to teach English as a second language?
No, I didn't have to do that because we were supposed to only speak English to them. And then we had a board, and we showed videos, and then we would go with the students, and they would follow what the video says. And then I gave them a workbook, and we worked in the workbook and everything.
Yeah. Language immersion.
Yes,
Yeah, language
language
immersion. Well, how many years did you teach in total?
Oh my God. Okay.
Just a round guess.
About close to let's see.
Just pick
Okay,
a,
about 48 years.
you told me it was 23.
Oh, 23. Oh, I thought I started at 23.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I know.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
maybe it was my mistake. Maybe
No, I started when I was 23 years old, and I quit when I was in my 60s.
Okay, so then then that's the error is
Yeah.
mine. Okay, that's
No.
fine. We got that straight. Okay, okay. Now, you were out working for a living, and this is all good. But what did you do for fun, especially when you were younger?
Oh, well, I was in a dance group. Oh, that was a lot of fun.
Okay.
A dance group, and we traveled around, and we gave we had parties and everything like that.
Okay, but what type of dance group was
Oh,
it?
it was a European dance group. We did dances from southeastern Europe. You know, from Croatia, Serbia, Greece, Bulgaria, Macedonia, even Czechoslovakia, places there too.
A lot of beautiful, colorful costumes
right.
and
Oh,
everything.
yeah, we had costumes and everything.
Now,
yeah.
do you recall the name of that group you were dancing with?
Kolo Group Shumadia.
Oh, I'm so glad you pronounced it. I would have
Kolo
known.
Group
I would have
Shumadia.
not known
Kolo
what to
Group
do with it.
Shumadia.
Okay, now where did you perform?
Oh, well, we performed everywhere. We practiced at the Croatian Hall on the east side. We practiced there. They gave us a place to practice. But we would go to churches that would want us to dance, and we would have dance parties, and we would invite people to come. And sometimes we also would meet at the Greek town after practice.
The
We'd
fun
meet
part.
At Greek town,
Yeah.
And we sat right across from the mob, from the mob, from the men that were in the mob. Gangsters.
Gangsters.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right.
And we would talk with them, and they were amazing, and they had us dance for them.
Okay.
Yeah, they had us dance for them at some bar that one of the gangsters owned. But what it was, I don't remember.
Okay, I hope none of them will be watching because you're giving away big time.
Yes.
That's interesting. We
Yeah.
did not talk about that in advance, all right? Okay. Yes, you might have met a lot of interesting people.
Yes, oh, yeah, we
while
did.
you were in these dance groups.
Yeah.
But did you ever meet anyone very special?
Oh, dear. Did I tell you?
I think so.
Uh-oh. Well, a lot of people, because
Well,
they knew,
this
they
is his
knew-
name up there.
Oh, well, that was Voikin. That's the guy I married. Yeah, that's the guy I married. Yeah.
Now, there's a backstory on him that I
Oh,
hope
yeah.
you will share.
Right. Well, see, when I was in this dance group with Croatians, Serbians, the ladies all started talking to me, and they knew I wasn't married yet, and they said, our brother doesn't want to go back to Serbia because they put him in the military, and there's a lot of fighting there. and they said, could you please marry him so he can stay here? Which is what I did.
But can you tell me why?
Well, he was a nice guy. He was a nice guy. He was wonderful. And I thought, well, I got to get married. My God, I'm 33 years old, 34 years old. I got to get married. And he was a nice person.
Well, I'm so glad he was a nice
yeah,
person,
he was a
because that's
nice
a really
person.
risky thing
Yeah, and
to
he
do.
was good looking, too.
Oh, well, that helps a
Well, that
lot.
helps.
That's a lot.
Well,
Okay.
if you've met my son, you could tell.
Okay. Yeah, and Nick is a story unto himself.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. And what did he do to support the family?
Well, he had a dental lab. He had a dental lab. He made dental gold. Dental gold.
Seems a lot, some of it
Yeah,
got science.
that's dental gold.
Okay.
And then he would go to all the dentists, because when a dentist took your tooth out, it would be a hole there. And then my husband would make the tooth that would fit in there.
Okay.
So that's how he made money.
Well, that's a very skilled job.
Yeah,
That's,
oh, God,
yeah,
yes.
So I don't know where he got his training, but that was very,
Yeah.
very skilled. And ladies, he worked with gold. How many
gold.
years did he, about how many years did he
Oh,
work?
well, about 30 years.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
about
sounds
30.
great. Were you any way involved in his business?
Oh, yes, I did all the paperwork, and I delivered the
Product?
product, yeah.
Okay. Okay, now you're here alone.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, my husband died a long time ago. He would never go to the doctor. I would say, Boykin, you got to go to the doctor once a year. No, doctor.
I love the
doctor.
accent. The accent touch is excellent. Okay, now this is really interesting. What made you consider senior living?
Well, actually, my son wanted me to come here.
Okay.
He said, oh, you got to try going to Alegria Village. Try it for a month and see how you like it. And so that's why I'm here.
Oh, okay. Well, now the really interesting question, do you like it here?
Yeah, I like it here, but I miss my home.
Oh, we all do.
Yeah, I miss my
Yeah.
home. And my home isn't very far from here.
Well, you can go visit it.
Yeah, I can visit it. Yeah.
Okay, now what have you become involved in while you're here? Besides being friendly and
Yeah,
sparkling
friendly and sparkling and shiny.
Maybe it's too early yet to.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I like to go to all kinds of events and
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
I've seen her at happy hour.
Yeah, I love going to happy hour. I love going to happy
That
hour.
sort of
yeah.
thing. And what do you think of the people that live here?
Oh, yeah, everybody's so friendly. Oh, everybody is so friendly. I really like it.
That's good. That's one of the real
Yeah.
selling points
Oh,
around
yes,
here.
it's
Okay.
wonderful here.
And how about your apartment? How do you feel
Oh,
about
yeah,
your
I
apartment?
like it. It's really nice. It's very nice. It's not too small. It's not too big. It's just the right size.
And it's, one of those first floor apartments
First
where you
floor,
can
yes.
you can escape
Don't
if
have
you
to
want.
go up and down. I don't have to go up and down.
Okay. Nadia, we're going to be tying things up here. Do you have any final comments that you'd like to tell people about before we sign off?
Oh, okay. Well, I just love this place, and I love the people who live here. They're wonderful, and I'm so glad I met all these people here.
Well, that's very nice
I
to
love
hear.
it, yes.
Well, thank you very much. Well, Nadia, this has really been a pleasure. Thank
Okay,
you for
thank you.
joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Yes,
and I
please.
really enjoy your upbeat, energetic
energetic.
presentation. I really like
Okay,
that.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Michaelie.
All righty.
All right.
Now, you, our audience, you please stay with us. You don't want to miss our next guest. As I've already said, she's one of the many multi-talented people that lives among us. You'll really enjoy it.
Good.
Thank you for staying with us. I welcome you to part 2 of this broadcast of Meet the Village. Today, our special guest is Sandra Bergman. Sandra lives in CC 308. She is a talented individual who isn't really exactly a newcomer. You see, Sandra was unfortunately, along with many others, sidelined due to COVID. Now, at that time, only staff members could appear on community television. Us residents had to stay away, so she lost her opportunity. Now, I only recently discovered how very talented she is, so I invited her to join us. So, welcome to Meet the Village, Sandra. This is where friends and neighbors will get introduced to the creative you.
Thank you.
Well, let's start with the obvious question. How long has Alegria Village been your home?
Since April, 3 years ago.
Okay, sounds good. Now, are you a native Michigander? And if not, where in this vast country did you start your early days of living?
Well, I'm not a native here, but I lived my first few years in Indiana on a farm, and I grew up there, went to school at Bluffton, Indiana, and then I went to beauty school.
Oh, we're jumping just a
We're
little
gonna-
ahead right now. I'm just going to
Okay.
slow you down because you told me one thing I really want to sneak in here. Something about you and a tractor.
Oh, yeah. My dad had me out on the tractor tilling the ground at about age 14 and getting ready for planting. And I did that for a few years when I was still at home. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the work part of your life as a 14-year-old. Now, what did you do for fun? Just strictly for you type of thing? No.
I enjoyed playing the piano, and
There was another instrument you played as
I
well.
played a clarinet
Yeah.
in elementary school. Yes.
And then you got into a competitive part of your life. There was some kind of local piano competition?
Yes, at age 14, I was in a contest playing the piano.
How'd you do?
I did very well, I guess, because I got first place, and they took my picture while I was playing, and they put the picture and a write-up about the situation in the newspaper.
Your first bits of stardom. Yeah,
Yes,
you're on your way.
yes.
Okay, now did you have any time for girly stuff? You know, things that girls do.
Oh, well,
You
I
fell
guess
in
I
love.
did.
Yeah, you fell in love with.
sewing.
Yeah, surprise. Oh, yeah, that's what this is really about.
I
yeah.
loved sewing
Yeah.
better than anything, and I started sewing when I was at least 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined 4-H
Mm-hmm.
at that time.
And you were participating. You weren't raising pigs.
No,
No, you were
no.
in the what category?
I was in the homemaking category.
Okay.
I did not do pigs.
Okay. Okay.
No.
And did you place?
Yes.
Now, what was your project?
this suit?
Okay. And what did you place?
I placed first prize in the county fair, and I took it to state fair, and I got first prize there.
Okay. Now, we actually have that creation with us here today, but I can't help but wondering if anyone today would want to take on that project with all that detail, those finish cuffs and all that tiny little waist and all of that sort of thing. Now, the question is, who did you make that ensemble for?
Me,
You did?
yes,
Okay.
and I wore it.
Like where?
to church.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, now we will return to your sewing prowess, but let's move on for now. What did you do after high school?
I went, in June, I went to beauty school in Fort Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
And it took like almost 6 months to get through that. And then
Are there state boards you have to pass or something like that?
my mom and I rode on the bus to Indianapolis for me to do my state board.
Mm-hmm.
And I got that, and then I started working.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
For others, I assume, at that point in
yes,
time. Yeah.
yes. And I worked, the one place I worked, they only let me wash heads. And I went to another job, and I done everything there with her, and that was at Garnett's Beauty Shop
Okay.
in Bluffton.
Okay. Now, what happened in 1957
I
with the help of your parents?
went to Fort Wayne, and I shopped, and I got everything I needed to make a beauty shop for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in Keystone, Indiana, which is a little bitty town. And I had a beauty shop there.
Okay, and how long did you work in that beauty shop?
Probably 4 years. And in the meantime, I got married, and
What was your husband's name?
Junior Dwayne Bergman,
Mm-hmm. And Junior was actually his name?
that was his name.
Okay, so it wasn't a nickname, that was
No,
actually his name.
He was the youngest of 11 children.
Oh my.
Maybe that's why, I don't know.
Okay, now what about little Bergmans?
We had Carrie in 1959, and then Terry in 1960. And then maybe 6 years after Terry, Ellen was born, and then 13 months after Ellen, Philip was born.
Okay, that's
So it was like having two sets of twins.
Yes, indeed.
Basically.
And I'm assuming it kept you very busy.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And then you managed to do all these other things in
Yes,
between.
so-
Right. Okay, what brought you to Michigan?
Well, my husband was in the courier business, and he was manager, and the company sent him to Omaha, Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were there for 18 months, and then they sent him to Detroit. And
Good,
so
that's Michigan.
that's Detroit, Michigan, and that's how we got here.
Okay.
And that was 1964.
Okay, so where did you live when you were in Michigan?
We lived in Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
and we got in a church, and Taylor Center Baptist Church, and it wasn't long until they asked me to play, and so then I played. I eventually played the organ at the church there, and maybe for 20 so years, I'm not sure.
Okay. Now, I also seem to remember you bought some land when you were living in Taylor.
Yes, yes. In 2000, we moved to Hillsdale County, and on a farm, and it had 50 acres.
Okay.
And we had farmers come in. There were 3 fields that they worked every year.
Mm-hmm.
We were there for 20 years, and I wasn't happy about moving, but once I got there and got settled, I enjoyed it. I liked being there,
Okay.
but we were far away from family, and
Oh, that happens to a lot of
Yes.
places, yeah. But
So-
before we jump too far ahead here, it's obvious your husband is not with us here. You know, when did he pass?
he passed it'll be a couple of weeks now. In October, it will be 4 years.
Okay.
And I stayed at the farm
Okay.
after he passed for about 6 months. And then our daughter Ellen, she found this place and I moved here.
Okay. I'd like to talk a little bit, though, about your music before we move on all the way over here. Now, you said you played for the church there. How many years total were you playing the piano and organ?
Oh, goodness, over 40.
Yeah, that's a long
I'm sure,
time.
because I played piano at the church out in the country.
Okay. Now, I happen to know that she has a piano in her apartment. And I can't help wondering, with all the moving you've done here, Omaha, Detroit, and out into the farm, has that piano made all that traveling along with you, or is it a new acquisition?
I bought it while we were at the farm. He wanted me to have it.
Okay.
So he bought it for me there.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to the sewing for right now. Sandra has brought in some additional items for us to look at. Just about when did you start sewing for the family? How early?
I was a teenager. I made a dress for my little sister. And
Any idea how old you were?
I was probably 16 or 18.
Okay, sounds good to me. And then any other family members you sewed for?
Oh, yeah.
Children, husband?
Yeah,
Okay,
everybody. I've
okay.
sewed for everybody.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. We have some items we're going to show you too. How did you handle that sewing for a man? What's different between sewing for a man and sewing for a woman? I shouldn't have asked that question.
Well, I don't know. I really don't have an answer for that.
Well, I would think the sizing and the fitting
Yeah.
would be a little different.
I had a pattern always.
Ah,
and,
there's the clue.
yeah, I had a
that's the
pattern
clue.
always,
Okay.
so-
Okay, now we have a few of your husband's clothes here, so let's do a short show and tell. Please tell us about the bright, bold, brightly colored sport jacket.
Well, I took a class and I made that sports coat, and he liked it. He liked bright colors.
Yeah, obviously
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, he did, and he liked it, and he wore it with a very dark red pair of pants, and it matched real
Oh,
good.
that's good to
It
hear.
was nice.
Now, what about that fancy electric blue blazer you cooked up for
Oh
him?
yeah, that was leisure suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's terrific. If anyone ever wants to buy me a gift, electric blue is the color.
Yeah.
I love that color. I just absolutely
my
enjoy
boys,
it.
I made each one of them a leisure suit also.
Yeah. Okay, now in addition, you've brought a few things for yourself that you've made, starting with this frock. Any comments on this dress that you've made for yourself?
No, it's just a plain dress is all. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine. Now, we're going to be showing you probably right now this fuchsia jacket. It's an absolute fantastic, exotic thing. The only I want to know is when you walked into a room with that jacket on, did anyone tell you they had to put their sunglasses on to protect their eyes? No, it is that type of garment.
Yeah.
It really, really
I've had
is.
a lot of compliments on it.
I understand
Yes,
why.
yes.
That's also a good color for me, that
Yeah.
fuchsia. Okay, here's a piece I never attempted to sew myself. I think you need some special skills to do a swimsuit. What
Yeah.
can you tell? What made you do a swimsuit? Why did you make a swimsuit?
I just wanted to make everything.
Okay.
I did.
Well, actually, that's a very good
Yeah.
answer. Just take on another project. Okay. Where did you get some fancy skills to know how to fit that baby? Did you take a class somewhere or something?
I may have. I may have. I took several classes at Stretch and Sew in Allen Park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would always go over there shopping a lot and for material,
Okay.
and they had classes they would give over there.
Okay. Now, one last sewing question. Did you ever sew for anybody else other than your family?
Oh, yes.
Tell our audience.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I've made gowns for weddings and just regular clothes for different people, and I just loved it so much that
Okay.
I just wanted to.
Okay. I
Yeah.
hope you were paid well for your efforts. Okay, now back to, we're in Michigan, we're sitting here in the dining room at Alegria Village. What made you consider senior living?
My daughter considered it.
Well, you're
Yeah.
very honest about that.
Yes.
A lot of people, right.
Yes,
now,
and it was a good plan.
it was,
It was
a
a good
good
plan.
plan, really, okay.
Yes.
And what about Alegria Village? When you were looking at it, did you like what you
Yes.
saw?
Yes, I liked it.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Now that you've been here a few years and not just a couple months as some of the people I interview, are you happy with your daughter's decision to move
Yes.
to Alegria Village?
Yes, I am.
How do you like your apartment?
I love it.
You do?
It's a very, very nice, roomy, very roomy and nice.
Anything else special about it? You didn't show me. Tell me where your sewing machine was.
I'll show you when we go back.
Okay. All right. Yes, I agree with you. This is a very, very good place to be. Sandra, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your story and all these beautiful creations that you've come up with. It was a bit of a challenge, folks, to get it all down here, but it is well worth it. Now, until next
Okay,
time.
I have one thing I
Oh.
want to say.
Okay, go ahead and say it.
I want to say that I do thank the Lord for giving me the ability to do what I've done in my lifetime. I've enjoyed it so much, and I do thank Him for that.
Amen. Okay. Until next time, folks, for Community Television, I'm Michaeline Larson.